The Pulse of Spokane is a broad show that showcases many different things in our community, sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You. Well, welcome to the Spokane's Pulse of Spokane, I should say. Let's get the program right, Kent. I hope you're having a good day. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of July, and it's a hot one. We're going to talk about a fun subject, but also a very important subject, and that's we're in political season, in case you hadn't noticed all the signs around town and so forth. And the secret is to put them in safely. We're going to talk about that with Kathy Boykin right after this. Here's today's weather forecast.
Today, Spokane's weather is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 96, while this week will also be mostly sunny. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low of 63. Today, Coeur d'Alene's weather is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 93 and a low of 63. Cheney's weather is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 94 and a low of 61.
What's it mean to be free? To go to work? To go to school? Or even go to the park?
In historic proportions, we've had our freedom jeopardized.
Was it all necessary for so long?
As a business owner, I know what it's like to work with all different people with all different backgrounds.
I promise to work hard to find common ground. This is a time that we need a leader that's willing to serve the people rather than to be served.
I'm Joshua Freed, and I'm running for governor.
Well, Kathy, how are you today?
I am good. How are you, Kent?
I'm doing fine. I see one cat just went off the screen. I warned people a couple of months ago when we started doing all these remotes that watch our programs to see the cats and dogs and little kids in the background. And really, until today, we haven't had a cat. So you've broken ground with us today. I hope you have air conditioning.
Yes.
Okay, because it's going to be hot. 96 is kind of warm, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, this is campaign season, as you know, and it's a difficult time for a lot of campaigners out there because of the doorbelling, none of that going on, none of the big meetings and so forth. And so I'm seeing in some areas a lot more signs than I might have seen before. And talk about legally, but also perhaps more importantly, the safety issues about putting in political signs. Let's focus on political signs to start with. Okay.
It wasn't actually something I was thinking about talking about today, but actually this is a good topic, mainly because the council board members asked me to talk to you about this because we are actually seeing more tickets this year than we saw last year.
Really?
I mean, with the pandemic, you'd think it might not be that way, but it's turning out to be do-it-yourself tickets. And just all the projects, you know,
Really?
And I don't think, and we're also having way more dig ups. And I mean, it's sewer and water and electricity and cable. It's every one of them. So it's whether, and we're trying to determine whether it's the people who have called and have tickets or whether it's the people who haven't called. You know, I mean, this is a little thick project we're working on right now, but so campaign signs is another one that should have been on my little list this morning.
Yes, it should have. Well, let's talk about the digging up and so forth, because we literally had at our house where they came out and reconnected the sewer line because it needed to be connected. But I did notice that all of the various utilities were well marked. So the company obviously did their homework and had, in fact, it was several days before they came out to actually do the work. So why is that important?
Well, it's important because it can be dug up. Lives can be injured or lost or whatever if people dig up things that are in the ground, you know. I think that people just don't realize, like pulling a stump out or putting in a mailbox or putting in a paper box or something like that, that it's like it isn't going in the ground, but it certainly is.
If it's going to stay
And
up, it has to go in the ground a bit. Yeah.
now, if campaigners are give their signs to the homeowners can put them in without calling as long as it's less than 12 inches.
Okay.
But if the campaigners are putting them out in the streets or wherever else, they can't scratch the ground without making those calls.
Okay. So when I see these vacant lots and railroad right-of-ways and where you see a bunch of signs, unless I see some markings or something, they probably have been put in there without checking, right?
I would say you're correct, yes.
Yeah.
And there are places that are actually just downright scary. Every now and then, one of the pipelines will send me a picture of right over the top of them, and it's like people don't even realize that they must, in some cases, I think they believe they're 90 feet deep or something like that, when in reality, depending on what the ground is made of, they're as deep as they can make them.
Right.
But there's no actual footage that it says how deep it has to be.
Well, and the fact is, when you put in some of these larger signs, you're dealing with rebar and other things that are 3 feet long or more.
Yeah. I've mentioned before on this show, there's a really bad spot over where you go on the freeway at Evergreen in the Valley.
Yes.
Just past the mall off of Indiana. I mean, there is a ton of signs right there. Both of those big lights that handle that intersection are right there with all those signs.
Yeah.
And there's no room for anything else but it to be there. those underground lines,
Someone's going to get a rude awakening at some point.
Somebody
and
is.
Killed, probably, right?
Well, I hope not, but
we all do.
the
But
rebar is the scary part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what my biggest reason was to call today, was to talk to you about the fact that we are seeing so many more tickets than we did last year by this time of year. I mean, there's been over 30,000 tickets since the first of
And
January.
I can tell you on our block at home, I've seen 3 sewer redos. I've seen other work as well. I think you're right. I'm seeing a lot of work. And maybe that's because people are working from home. They can be there to supervise, just what the construction folks want, right? And things like that.
Yeah, but we think that also there's a lot of do-it-yourself projects going on. People are fixing their decks. People are putting in a bush or taking out a bush. And those roots from trees and bushes, they grow around those lines that go in there. They might just be the TV or the telephone or something like that, but there's still utility lines that are there. And anyway, that was why I also sent my little brochure.
Right.
That should be there for somebody to see, and it tells that the solid lines are the ones that are the utilities. The ones that are the dotted lines, those belong to the people themselves. They may not know they own those lines, but they do. So before they just dig themselves up, I guess you could say, it would be good to know where things are on their property.
Well, that brings up a good point in terms of if you buy a house or something, to get from the previous owner as much knowledge as you can. Because you haven't seen them install in front of you or anything.
Right.
Yeah. Any other tips for folks?
Well, I'm just going to look over my little list here. You want to do the steps that it takes. First of all, you want to be sure and mark with white paint where it is that you're going to be digging, whether you do a circle around the tree or the bush that you're taking out, or the corner of the deck or something like that. And then you make your call to 811. Or you go on the internet and you can use our website, which is www.ieucc811.org, and it'll link you to the call center. And then you wait those 2 full days. Remember, the day of the call doesn't count, so you wait 2 full business days, and then you dig with care and staying, especially being very careful within 2 feet of those marks.
Right.
So.
I noticed one of them out there on the other side of the yard, fortunately, was the gas line. I mean, that was not something you want to dig into.
Those tickets are good for 45 days.
Okay.
And after that, you would need to call it again. So anyway, that's my message of the day. Hoping you all are well.
And if you're a homeowner, there's no cost.
There's no cost to homeowners doing the work themselves.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of people. It's amazing how many people are doing egress windows themselves.
Oh, really?
I,
Oh,
I
really?
think that I think that's a bit of a challenge, but maybe there's a good book out, something like that. How to do
Sounds
your
like a
own
lot of
egress.
shoveling to me, you
Yeah,
know.
it does. But
Although I'll have to
there
admit,
we see a
two
lot of
houses
tickets.
ago, my son did that on the South Hill. He dug it out
Hmm.
himself and put it in. So I'll give him
Hmm.
credit for that. But it was a
Yeah,
lot of work, and it was not just done on a Saturday afternoon either, I can tell you
no,
that. So,
no. But that's
okay.
why we think there's so many more tickets too, just because people are home. I mean,
Yeah,
a bunch have gone back, but a lot of them are like me, working from home, and
right,
most of my utility friends are all working from home. I mean,
right.
it's what it is right now. So,
Yeah. Well, it's important. Again, call 811 or go to the
yep,
website. If you're doing
yep,
it today, which is Tuesday, today doesn't count. So Wednesday, Thursday, then
they can
Friday
dig on
you can
Friday.
start your work. Okay.
Yes,
That
and
what it
so if
really
you
means is all of the utility folks will be out and marked within
yeah,
2 full
yeah.
days, which
So
is
if you're
really
trying
pretty
to
good
work,
when you think about the response time.
yeah. If you want to work this coming weekend, you want to get that call in by the end of tomorrow,
Yeah, yeah,
before midnight tomorrow night, because then they'll still have their 2 business days,
right,
um, Thursday and Friday to get it done, and then you can work on Saturday and Sunday. So,
right.
yeah.
Good.
Otherwise, if you don't do it till Thursday or Friday, that's going to be the next week before you can get it done.
Well,
So
maybe it's going to be too hot this weekend.
it could be, it could be too. But,
All right, Kathy,
okay,
good to see you. You're taking care?
we're taking care. We're trying to be safe and stay
All
out of
right.
people's way and wear our masks. And
Yes.
yeah, I have
I
about
didn't wear
500
one for
masks.
you because I wanted to scare you.
Yeah. Well, we have 811 ones actually that pull over your head, and I think they'll be good for winter because they say 811, but then they come clear down into
Oh,
your neck,
fun.
and
Yeah, you
yeah.
almost always bring me giveaway items and stuff. I
No, I
didn't see
know.
anything today.
Well, I'll have to mail you one of those
Well,
before winter.
you come see
Before
us
winter.
this September or something, okay?
Okay, sounds
All right.
good.
Kathy, thank you
All
very
right.
much. Again, folks, remember to call 811. Get it done. Get it safe for you and your kids maybe that are going to help you and the neighbors that are going to come over and help dig and so forth. So call before you dig, 811.
It's not
Thanks for
something just
watching this special edition of the Pulse of Spokane. Have a good day, everybody.
I'm
Bye.
Representative Jenny Graham. The infamous Green River serial killer altered my life forever after my sister Debbie was murdered. As I became an advocate for victims and communities, I learned that you have to work hard to get anything done. I strive to be one of the state's hardest working legislators, fighting for schools, families, and small businesses against taxes that destroy jobs. I'm honored to represent you, and I'd appreciate your vote once again.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jenny Graham, Republican.
This is Bloomsday in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Bloomsday.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Bloomsday wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
Welcome to Apex Plaza, Spokane's one-stop cannabis destination. Apex Cannabis features thousands of economy, value, and luxury cannabis products. Cannagear features hemp-based CBD products, glass, goods, and gear. Stop by 1325 North Division to experience the Apex difference.
This product has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risk associated with the consumption of this product. For use only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
The economy is getting stronger, banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.